approximately 3 years ago, I decided to do an investor deck. And before I actually sent it to any investor, I sent it to a friend of mine who is a marketing whiz. He's a senior executive in a firm. Within a few days, he got back and said, "Hey, Sukumar, there is no story in this deck." And Kumaran and I go, "Duh." The interesting thing is that I have been teaching storytelling techniques for more than 15 years now. The actual technique that I have been teaching has changed over time, but I have been teaching all the same, and I am also a firm believer in the idea of practice what you preach. So how come I didn't internalize the importance of storytelling in my own investor deck? Very curious, isn't it? So I went back to my favorite example of exercise. What were my barriers to 180 minutes of consistent exercise a week, which is the fitness standard, right? If you had asked me that question, I would have given you any of these barriers. Painful, boring, hard, I don't enjoy it, there's no time, gym is not nearby, I'm not getting the results quickly, I'm not motivated, etc. So I had connected it already, these barriers, to limiting beliefs from cognitive psychology. These are beliefs that get in the way of things that we want to badly do. I had further connected this to the Eisenhower-Covey matrix and showed to you all that we tend to procrastinate upon what we now call as the green zone tasks, high importance, low urgency tasks. Transformation, relationship building, storytelling, which we just covered. Anything that is strategic or long term in nature, we procrastinate because the limiting beliefs get in the way. Now the question is, what is the root cause of these limiting beliefs and why are we getting them to start with? That's what I was trying to investigate. And a few weeks ago, I had a brain wave. I looked at the Eisenhower-Covey matrix again and I realized that what we consider as high importance tasks are actually aspirational in nature. Yeah, exercise is important, fitness is important, I wanted to do it, so the aspiration is there. But if you ask me what was the importance in my subconscious mind, I would say that was zero. I decided to call it inner importance for want of a better term. Storytelling was aspirationally important, but I had not increased the inner importance of it. So how do I increase the inner importance of something? That's what I wanted to look at. Now I covered the reticular activating system and how it helps you spot important things like the cocktail party effect. It looks like the RAS is default programmed to yellow and red zone tasks because of our conditioning. So for example, as you're watching this video, if your phone rang, you would pick it up at least to see who it was. And even if it was a telemarketing call, you have still picked up the phone and you have now lost productivity because your attention has shifted. Now why did we do that? Because we have programmed our RAS to think of the phone ringing sound as important. Similarly, let's say you decide to do exercise and your inner importance of exercise is not that high enough and you see a food or you go something interesting going on TV, you would do that instead of going to the gym, right? So this is how the lack of programming of the RAS affects us. So we have to use this technique that I called persistent priming in my previous episode to program the importance of green zone tasks into the RAS. Now going back in time, if I look at what happened to me, gratitude. I was taking things for granted, but using the gratitude prayer in my family and the gratitude circle in my firm, by repeatedly doing it in front of a group, I was able to change that behavior. Fitness. I am doing the tiny habits, fitness, talking about it, working in group, so that, and journal it, that has improved. My eating was interesting. I used to think of myself as a foodie as well as having a sweet tooth. So that gave me the license to overeat food and also consume any number of sweets. So by journaling my weight, again by talking about this to groups and so on, I improved my behavior. Storytelling. In the last 2.5 years that I've been doing this TMT series, because I made a commitment to the audience in LinkedIn and Facebook that I'm doing it for, and I do it consistently every fortnight. Some days I stay up past midnight to get it done. So in my subconscious brain, the inner importance of storytelling has dramatically increased. So now whenever I make presentations, I think about storytelling. Because for me to do the TMT series in short order in a 3-minute time, I needed to use storytelling. So that's how I have reprogrammed my RAS to increase the importance of storytelling. So the mantra to bear in mind, which I covered last time, is Vijjaiba. What I group journal about, I bring about. Now, luckily enough, our app Magic Spark is a group journaling app, and many of our mentees report similar improvements and changes in their mindset and so on.